Hey, what's up, guys, ladies and gentlemen, everyone? How's everybody doing? This is Colin Heim with US Virgin Islands Chess, online virtual instructions and tutorials. Hi, how's everybody doing? For me, it's morning right now. As I'm making this recording, this is not a live stream yet. I'm still using my Android, guys, as it does. Let's go over this game between myself and my opponent here from Germany. As we take a look at his stats. He's rated preliminary about 2065, 2065 in classical, 1906 guaranteed in blitz chess, and the rabbit icon signifies rapid rating 2002. So a decent player here from Germany, over 2000 and two major time controls, Bernike. And as we see, my score there is 1-0 against Bernike. Okay, everyone, your instructor here had white pieces in this game. And we started with Bobby Fischer's best by test. As normal, per usual, your instructor really is an E4 player, guys, especially online, just because I want to prove that I have such a large variety of midpoints, opening theory, endgame abilities. So let's show this now. E4, C5 from Bernike from Germany, and D2, D4. This opening happens to be called the Smith-Morra Gambit, and saying that this is -0.4 for white. So the engine doesn't really think that this creates an advantage for white, but let's prove to the engine why it actually does. Okay, so here we see -0.1 nodes. Anyway, let's not pay too much attention to the computer analysis, guys. I just bring up the computer analysis just so we can get a little more forward and we can understand, maybe I can manipulate the pieces a little easier and get a better sense of what's going on. So, okay, guys, this is fine. Queen goes back to E3. Magnus Carlsen played this in the World Rapid Blitz Championship 2019 in Russia, in Moscow. He said this is totally fine. Queen E3 is fine, as it does. D6 played by my opponent. Let's continue now, guys. Let's start picking up the pace here. Bishop E5. And if this was a Ruy Lope, which it's not, it was a Sicilian defense, knight F6, this would have looked sort of like almost like an anti-Berlin, maybe with something like C3, but instead, guys, B3, going for this Larsen attack now. Remember, guys, this is for my experts playlist. Like, I expect you guys, if you're experts and you're watching and you're participating here, to know modern opening theory, titles of openings, main lines, variations. We'll go into my strategy here now. Knight G4 played by my opponent, and the computer recommends queen goes back to E2. I played a little bit more of a provocative move. I went for queen to G3. Now staying a little early there on the king side, but very important. Queen to B6 played by my opponent. It's a decent move. Bishop E2 now played by myself. Exclam question mark, but still a decent move though. I started off playing very aggressive in this game. H5 and H3 now kicking away the knight. Knight goes back to F6. Knight D2 and queen to D4. Guys, let's stop here and take a look at the position. What is the threat? Obviously, A1 rook is under attack. White has to find out something quickly. What was the move played in the game? C3. And find the best move in this position for black after I give everyone a couple of seconds. In the game, queen to E5 was played. Not the best move. The best move, guys, was just here. Queen to B6, and the game can continue. Instead, we see after E5 an exchange on E5, and F4, kicking the knight away now. So there's no queens on the board now, guys. I can play F4. Guys, when there's no queens on the board, you can begin expanding on the king side and making threats now. So this is a very sound threat. The engine recommends something like this now, and actually, I'm sort of liking this for white here. I don't know what the engine's saying here, but white looks a lot better here. I wouldn't trust the engine there. White looks a lot better there. That did not happen in the game, guys. Instead, we saw knight goes to C6, bishop to B2. E5, and white is encouraged to capture here, but I thought that if I captured here and then black recaptured with the knight, then I'd be a little vulnerable here this doesn't look as good as the prior line, right? So to speak, it doesn't look quite as nice, right? It just looks kind of even, right? It looks even, doesn't it? So I wasn't opting for that. Instead, guys, not doing what the engine recommended and just pushing, right? That was what was played in the game. Okay, guys, d5, e takes. There, of course, I'm taking now. And after knight from g to f3 and bishop captures on f5, now black is up at full pawn. Right, guys? We see that black is up a full pawn, and the engine is saying this is negative 2.5 points for white. So how did your instructor continue? Now, bishop e5 immediately, and after bishop to e6, the computer says that white has a chance now, and that's completely correct because now after a move like knight to c4, white has an excellent chance. And guys, doesn't bishop to d6 just look like such a normal move here, right? You're getting ready to castle, you know, we're ready to start rocking and rolling here, right? This is coming, you know, and maybe life is okay, you know, maybe things are kind of working out. Anyways, let's stick to the game line. And yeah, this didn't happen. Remember, guys, we saw knight to c4 in this position after bishop d6, knight c4. Bishop is encouraged to move backwards. Instead, my opponent plays king to e7, and now the engine is jumping to plus 3.3. Says that king e7 is a holy blunder, double question mark. Best move was just bishop c7. Yeah, I mean, even after you play bishop c7, guys, right? I mean, I'm taking here, captures, and I'm winning the pawn back, right? And I actually like white in this position. I don't like black at all. Black has a gap here between A and C rows, A and C files, rather, rows, columns, files, what the case may be. King to e7 was played, and gosh, even now, the computer says rook d1 was best for white, not to capture. I didn't even consider a move like rook to d1. Why? Because I was so focused on what was going on the center of the board, I didn't even think about swinging my rook in this position. I thought to myself, well, now black just gave up his castling rights. Let me fight for the center. Let me go for my approach, and that's exactly what happened, guys. B takes c, knight takes e5, bishop e5, knight e5, and then rook a c8. So this is the position that happened here on the board, guaranteed. And your instructor with white pieces looked better in this position. And here comes the tactics. Okay, here comes the look. Short castles is a very good move. White, the computer likes this. Still says white is a plus 1.7. Bishop to e6 now, just giving extra coverage to d5 square. And bishop to a3, a surprise move. King to e8, saying that was an inaccuracy. But where else to put the king, guys? What's the computer talking about? I mean, what's a better square? King to d8? Well, if king to d8, I think the trouble's coming here after now rook a d1. And how to defend, guys? What is really going on here? I don't understand. That's why I try not to get into these computer lines too often, guys, because I'm a little less comfortable with them. Anyway, let's stick with what happened in the game. We won't go over so many of these computer suggested variations, so-called. Short castles for myself, guys. Bishop e6. Checking the king again, as we mentioned. And look, guys, now I understand what the computer is talking about. If knight f7, what the computer recommends, right, and bishop captures, there's actually an immediate check here. And because f8 is blocked now by the bishop, you're actually just going down. You're going down a piece here eventually, right, at some point. And yeah, this is probably just safe for black to resign. So knight f7 was actually like a little mini brilliancy. That was not played. Instead, bishop e2, saying that was a mistake. The computer doesn't know why. And now I'm only plus, well, I was plus 0.6. Now rook to d8 and rook a e1. And the computer recommends now, well, stop focusing so much on the computer, guys. Let's just look at the game, as I mentioned. Sorry for that. Otherwise, we get into too many webs of too many possibilities and kind of takes us away from what we're trying to teach in these instructionals, right? Knight a5, rook c8, knight b7 now, looking to go for d6 square. And that did cross my mind to play knight d6 here, by the way, guys, just to check that black king. And here comes knight c5, switching things up, bishop to c8, and c3, knight goes backwards, and yeah, there's just so many tactics here. Now look at the engine's going crazy. It says +1.5. White has a sincere advantage here, and bishop to c3 after, yeah, just swinging that rook all the way over to d8, guys, I guess in hopes for starting some kind of attack. But after bishop to c3, after bishop to d3, guys, find the tactic here for black after I give everyone a couple seconds. Find the tactic here for black. This is what I was planning. Okay, guys, bishop a5 is the key move of this endgame. This sort of finalizes everything. Rook moves out of the way, and now, can you guys spot the juicy square that my knight just landed on? Just to go up a full exchange, right? So, bishop d3 turned out to be the biggest mistake of the game for my opponent, because after bishop a5, this rook has nowhere to go now. It doesn't matter if it's b7 or d7. The knight is landing on c5, and there's an exchange fork. And now in this position, after my opponent just played knight from f5, just saying capture with the rook. I did not capture the knight first. I wanted to go with the exchange to begin with, and I read in my mind's eye that after this, and if I played rook to d1, black is losing a whole piece on the spot. And why is that, guys? When we take a look at this, right? Rook captures, and this is the move that was played in the game. Now, of course, with rook to d8, there's really no chance for any plausible continuation. You could try something like maybe I want to eventually check the white king here for once, right, in the game, and go for something like this. Well, this is coming with check, and king is forced to move somewhere, and yeah, I mean this is finished, guys. You know, start pushing a pawn. White is just a whole lot better. So let's go back to that critical tactic here, guys. After this, yeah, there's a free knight there, giving up a free knight. My opponent here from Germany, over 2,000. Just shy of maybe 2,100 and 2 major time controls. Okay, guys, so yeah, right around here, remember I mentioned find the best move for white after c4, and there were so many tactics here. I didn't even see bishop e5 during the game. I didn't recognize that. I wasn't able to calculate really that deep. There's just so many flaws in the defense and black's camp. Just so many weaknesses. And after bishop c3, guys, rook d3 and bishop a5, and we spotted this beautiful tactic. It doesn't matter where you put the rook here. Thank you guys for watching. This was the Smith-Morra Gambit. Sicilian Defense, brought to you by Colin Heim with U.S. Virgin Islands Chess at Home and Abroad. A nice little 15-minute clip here of what does it take to prove e4, c5. I really came with a plan in this game, guys, and one thing that you should take away from online chess or over-the-board chess or any kind of chess, I don't know what other kind of chess there is besides online or over-the-board, but okay, maybe there's something else. Always come with a plan. Always tell yourself, yes, I am playing this game because I am here to prove something. I'm going to change it up. For example, guys, what is the most played move in this opening? Right, knight f3, knight c6, old Sicilian defense. You know, there's this Rosalimo attack, Nejmedinov Rosalimo attack. There's, you know, 4 knights, Sicilian, this kind of stuff. But instead, no, we go for this kind of new age Smith-Morra Gambit. It's been played in the 50s before. I saw some Fischer games like this, and Fischer had the black pieces and was actually able to dismantle it quite easily. But good job, guys. Thank you for participating. Many more videos to come in the future. This is for my experts level analysis. Hope everyone enjoyed it, got something from it. You should have got something from it today. And now your instructors at after this game, I got to over 2,100 in Classical. So thanks, guys, for watching. See everyone on the other side. Bye-bye for now. Colin Heim with U.S. Virgin Islands Chess at home and abroad, globally and regionally. Thank you, guys. Take care. See you on the other side.